Do you need a website? That's a question that people ask quite a lot. Do I need a website? What century are you living in? You need a website. Your website is the equivalent of your business address online, basically. It's the place people go to learn about your business. And nowadays, most people use the internet and most people search for services or products that they want to buy online. It's just a fact. And as the population, the age population who don't use the internet slowly pass on, unfortunately, the population who use the internet, the percentage of that is going to grow and grow. Obviously, there is a small number of people who don't use the internet, and you do need to find ways to reach those people with marketing as well. But for the vast majority of your target market, probably they will be finding you through the internet. And especially through this course, most of the marketing strategies that I'm going to talk to you about are online, because that's really the future of marketing. So website address is absolutely key. Now, what kind of website do you want? So you could set up like a Weebly.com thing, joeblogselectrical.weebly.com. Is that a good idea? Does that look professional? No. You need your company name as your website address. We've already talked about this with regards to email, but that's just so important as well, to come across professionally and to appear professionally in the search results on Google, because Google is your friend. If you're running a business, Google is your friend. You need Google on your side in order to get work. 95% of our work comes through Google or YouTube, and YouTube is owned by Google, yeah? So Google is your friend, and you need a professional website address to be able to appear professionally on Google. So how do you go about that? Well, what you were doing when you were coming up with your company name, which we talked about in chapter 2, you probably did an online search to find out if somebody else had taken your company name website. So now what you need to do is go online and actually buy that website address if you haven't done so already. One website that I used to find my company website address was uk2.net. It's just a very short and easy to remember domain, uk2.net, but I'll leave a link in the description for some of the best website hosting providers. But basically you go on there and there's a search bar and you just type your company name.co.uk, for example. So joeblogselectrical.co.uk, search, and it will come up with, is it available or is it not, basically. If it is available, you buy it. It probably costs you about a tenner for a year, and you own that website address now, just like you own the social media names. You've put your stake in the ground, you've claimed your website. Then what you need to do is actually create a website on that address. You have to kind of like buy the plot of land that is on the address, so to speak, if we're talking in illustrative terms. You have to basically do what's called host the website on that website name, because that name is just like an address, basically. There's nothing there until you host your website on it. So you have to buy a hosting package. Again, it's not expensive, probably for as low as £20 a year. You can get a hosting package, and that gives you some space then on that website address where you can put an actual website that people can look at and that can showcase your business. And in terms of actually creating that website, we'll go back to this idea of Upwork. That is where I created my website originally. I put a job out on Upwork and I put in all the information that I wanted roughly about my website, what I kind of wanted it to look like. I actually put a few websites that I wanted to be similar to, so they got kind of an idea of what I'm looking for. Then I created this job on Upwork, and again, you get loads of people responding, and you just filter through until you find somebody you think is going to be professional and do you a good job. I had this guy from India who did mine for me, and I had quite a lot of integrations that I wanted in there. I wanted my YouTube videos embedding in the website. I wanted my Google reviews to appear on the website. Lots of things that are a little bit complicated, but he did the whole thing for like £400 for the whole website. So very reasonable. You have to provide the content, obviously. So you need to put your services, you need to tell them what your services are that you want to highlight to your customers. Then put some text in there about describing your services, so you might need to spend a bit of time on this because it's quite important to get it right. And you could hire a content writer to do that if you've got a little bit more budget to word things correctly. But you can kind of just write it all down and then visualize it and Go to a few other websites to see how they do it. Usually they have a contact us page, for example, which has a contact form. And then that contact form, somebody can fill out their details and it will send through to your email address or your customer relationship management software, if you have one. And then there's a phone number on there so they can phone you directly. There's an email address on there so they can email you by just clicking on the email address. It's got your business address on there. And then you've got your services page usually. So each service that you want to really highlight to your customers, the services that are going to be most profitable for your business, those are the ones that you want to highlight on your services pages. So it could be for you, consumer unit changes, rewires, testing and inspection, electric vehicle charging, all those kind of things. You highlight those on your services page. You might even have an About Us page as well, where you share a little bit of the history of your company. You could have a testimonials page where people can see testimonials from your previous customers. And there is a way to integrate your Google reviews into that, which is what we'll talk about a bit later. But website is absolutely essential, so don't overlook that and do start up a website straight away, because without it you will never really thrive as a company in this day and age of internet being the #1 place that people go to find services and products. And that website needs to be also linked to a Google My Business page. We talked about that earlier when we were talking about the address. Once you've got your business address set up and your contact details, your social media accounts and your website address, then you want to link them all together by creating a Google My Business page. So basically what that is when you do a Google search for, say, Electrician Lyme Regis, you will find in Google Maps, it will pop up, you see on the right hand side there, you'll see several business names with a number of 5-star reviews that they've got and things like that. And you see the little pins on the map. That's what you need in order to get visible to people on Google. So you have to actually go to Google, and just if you type in Google My Business to Google, it will give you the option to create your own Google My Business page. And it's very simple. You just put in your company details, put in all your website address, your contact details, your social media accounts, and it will create this Google My Business profile for you. They'll probably send like a postcard to your business address that you have to get, and then there'll be a sort of code on it, and that's just for security reasons so that they can prove that you are a real business that actually exists. So it takes sometimes a couple of weeks to get that through, but once you've got it, you've got your Google Map pin. That is so important. That is like the future of your company, because when people search for an electrician, they're going to be looking on Google, and you are more likely to appear if you've got a Google My Business page. And that is something that so many companies overlook, and they struggle to get new business through the internet. They think internet marketing doesn't work. It's because they don't have a Google My Business page. So that's my top tip from this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about bank accounts. See you there.